Most of the time, our days are spent with our feet firmly on the ground. At ground level, our tools and work surfaces are within easy reach. But there are times when we need access to things that are more difficult to get to. Sometimes a truck with a lift bucket can be brought into raises to the desired height. For long-term projects, it may make sense to put up some scaffolding. Most of the time, though, working off the ground means bringing in a ladder. When we use them correctly, ladders make our jobs easier and make us more productive. They allow us to work comfortably in places that are ordinarily out of our reach. In fact, it's hard to imagine what we do without them. But we've got to be careful, because whenever we're on a ladder, there's always the possibility we could fall. As a result, if they're used incorrectly, ladders can lead to accidents and serious injuries. So let's take a look at how we can work with ladders safely. There are many different types of ladders. Each one is designed for a specific purpose. They can all get you safely to the right height, providing you select the correct ladder for the job you're doing. Many times, step ladders will get you to where you want to be. They can vary in both height and material. Other times, an extension or a straight ladder may be what you need. They should be tall enough so that the top 3 rungs of the ladder extend beyond the roof edge or support point. This will keep the ladder stable while you're on it, and give you something to hold on to if you need to step off at the top. To determine how tall a ladder you need, follow the 4-to-1 ratio. Say you're putting a ladder against a wall. The ladder should be about 1 foot away from the wall for every 4 feet of working ladder height. If the ladder you've chosen can't maintain this ratio and reach your desired destination, you need one that's longer. You should also think about how much weight the ladder will have to hold. Different ladders are built with different weight capacities. So you need to read the manufacturer's instructions to make sure the type of ladder you're using will support the weight you'll be putting on it. Remember, to get a safe match, you need to add the weight of the tools and materials that you'll be carrying to what the scale says you weigh. Many accidents occur when workers fail to notice problems that have developed with their ladders. Becoming familiar with the parts of the ladders that you use will help you to ensure that they're in good condition. For instance, rungs should be firm and unbroken. To provide a stable base that prevents slipping, ladders should also have sturdy, non-slip safety feet. Make sure that the ropes, pulleys, and other moving parts on extension ladders are in good working order. If you're using a step ladder, verify that the spreaders are in good condition and can be locked into position before you climb. Step ladders should also have braces to keep the rails and side supports from swaying. Some ladders are permanently fixed in place. Before climbing them, be sure that all their rungs are securely attached and that there is no rust or corrosion on the safety cage or the rungs themselves. As you inspect your ladder, fix or replace any damaged parts. If you can't repair what's broken, talk to your supervisor and get a new ladder. Once you've selected the right ladder for the job you're doing and inspected it, you need to set it up correctly. First, make sure to secure the legs. Place them on a level surface, keeping the area around the base of the ladder clear of debris. Be sure the rails are perpendicular to the ground. This will help to get the feet positioned firmly. If you're on uneven ground, shore up the legs with wood or ladder jacks. If the ground is soft, placing wide boards under the feet of the ladder can help to keep it steady. If you have to place a ladder in front of a door, block or lock the door so no one can come through it while you're working. If you're using a straight or extension ladder, remember the 4-to-1 ratio. This will keep the ladder at about a 75-degree angle and make climbing safe and easy. If no one is going to be available to help you when you will be climbing, tie the ladder off at the top with a rope. And it's always a good idea to put hazard signs around the area where you're working. One of the things that makes ladders so useful is that they can be moved to wherever we need them. If possible, you should take the ladder down and carry it horizontally at your side. This will help you to keep your balance and make the ladder easier to handle. If you can't comfortably carry the ladder by yourself, don't risk an accident. Get help. If you have to move a ladder while it's up, be very careful. Make the move slowly. It's easy for an extended ladder to throw you off balance or knock something down. This is another situation where it's a good idea to have someone else give you a hand. There are techniques you can use when you're climbing a ladder to help you stay safe in the process. But there are some situations when you shouldn't climb a ladder at all. Don't climb a metal ladder if you're working near power lines, electrical wiring, or machinery, because a metal ladder will conduct electricity. If it comes into contact with an uninsulated power source, it will allow the electric current to flow straight to you. So if you're working around electricity, choose a non-conducting fiberglass or wooden ladder to avoid the possibility of getting shocked. There are other situations you need to avoid as well. Never climb ladders in poor weather conditions. Rain and wind can make climbing dangerous. And don't climb ladders if you're sick or taking medication that makes you drowsy. It's too easy to lose your balance if you're not feeling up to snuff. Some people have a fear of being in high places. Never force or badger anyone into climbing a ladder. It could put both them and you at risk. Once you've determined that you and your ladder are in good condition and that the area you'll be working in is safe, read the manufacturer's instructions to determine if there are any special precautions you should take. Then it's time to climb. First, get a good grip on the ladder. Make sure that your shoes, hands, and the rungs of the ladder are all dry and free of oil or other slippery substances. When possible, use the buddy system and have a coworker hold the bottom of the ladder so it won't slip. They'll also make sure that no one bumps into the ladder while you're working. If you are alone on the job, tie the top of the ladder off to something that is fixed and stable, and set up hazard signs to keep people away from it. When you're climbing, follow the 3-point rule. Keep 2 hands and a foot or 1 hand and 2 feet in contact with the ladder at all times. Always face the front of the ladder and never rush. And don't try to slide down or jump off when you're finished. When you're working on ladders, there are guidelines to follow to do it safely. To avoid falling accidents, you need to keep your weight centered between your ladder's rails. Try using the belt buckle rule. By keeping your belt buckle between the rails of the ladder at all times, you'll be sure to maintain your center of gravity. You shouldn't lean back when you're on a ladder either. Stay close so your weight is in line with the rails. Standing too close to the top of a ladder is something else you should avoid. It can cause you to lose your balance and hit the ground hard. In general, it's a good idea not to stand on the top 4 rungs of an extension ladder or the top 2 steps of a step ladder. If you can't follow these guidelines with a ladder you have, get a bigger one. Don't play games with your safety. You should never have more than one person on a ladder at a time. Another person's movements can upset your balance, and the extra weight and stress can weaken the ladder over time. Step ladders are no exception. Never let someone stand on the back of the ladder to help the person on the front, unless they're using a specially built two-person ladder. Trying to hoist tools or materials up with you while you're climbing a ladder can be very dangerous as well. Instead, wear a tool belt and pull up any other materials that you need after you've reached the top. Fasten containers or tool holders to your ladder to hold things that you need to have quick access to. Be careful when you're handling your tools and materials while you're up in the air, and watch out for people beneath you. Falling objects may not hurt you, but they can be dangerous to anyone below. And never leave a raised ladder unattended. Once you're finished with it, store your ladder in a safe, dry place. Sometimes, no matter how careful we are, things just go wrong. So if an accident does occur, it's important to be prepared. If you fall off a ladder, knowing how to do it the right way can prevent a serious injury. Tense muscles increase the potential for getting hurt, so it's important to relax when you fall. Absorb the impact by bending your arms and legs. This way they will act as shock absorbers when you hit the ground. Rolling in the direction of the fall will cushion you even more. If a coworker falls from a ladder, they could end up with broken bones, a concussion, or even damage to their spinal column. So you shouldn't move them unless they are in a very dangerous location. Movement will only make these injuries worse. Instead, call for medical help immediately. While you wait for it to arrive, monitor the victim's breathing and work to stop any bleeding. In some cases, the victim may also need to be treated for shock.
Yeah, he's breathing okay.
As we've seen, ladders can be a big help, but they can also be dangerous if they're not used properly. Let's review. Pick the right ladder for the job. Make sure it's tall enough and check its weight capacity. Inspect every ladder before you use it. Take care of any needed repairs. Set your ladder up on a firm, dry base and make sure it's at the right angle. Remember the 4-to-1 rule. Climb with safety in mind. Secure the ladder firmly and use the 3-point climbing technique. If an accident does occur, be prepared to act. Know what types of first aid might be needed. Ladders can help us to be more efficient and productive. But if they aren't used correctly, people can be seriously injured. So follow ladder safety procedures at all times, and you'll never be grounded.